Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Hello guys, welcome back to J is for Justice. My name is Jay and I am your host this morning and every morning. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are having a great day today. Good to see all of you up in chat this morning. Happy Friday. I have a little announcement. I'm trying to get this little guy up here in your top right corner to trust me. So I've taken all of your hints and tricks from the community post. So thank you for those. She's coming, or he, I don't know. I haven't been able to pick him or her up yet, but adorable, right? Loving the colors on this kitty. So let me make her or he. If it's a he, I'll probably name him Ian because I think he got displaced by the hurricane, but I'm hoping to have a kitty cam, Robin. Yes. What a beautiful kitty. So all of you kitty lovers, how old do you think that this little guy or gal is? There's my little looping video. So here's my kitty cam until kitty cam is actually really a thing. Okay. The kitten rescued me. Okay. So I wasn't even looking for, had no idea, but you think it's about a year old? You think it's that old? 6 or 9 months? About a year? Wow. So do you think it's going to stay on the smaller side? I don't know how to age cats either. Yeah, I guess you really can't tell how big it is, but it's pretty small. It's not a big fat cat at all. But they found me, him or her, about 6 months maybe. Well, he or she was very hungry, so we fed him or her, and she's being well taken care of, or he is. But the colors on this cat are just, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So welcome. I'll definitely keep you guys posted in the community. If I get to hold him or her, I will definitely be sharing. So Leonard says his cat's name is Alice in Chains. That's awesome. Don't give her milk. Nope, I just been giving her, I had some cat food, but I'm going to get some soft food today after I get done with my live today. Hello, Potato, and hello, Angie B., the moderators. I am coming at you live from Tampa. Let me know in chat where you are listening from. I always love to hear where we're being heard across the globe. Tampa. Okay, so first we're going to get the sad news out of the way. The real sad news is that Grady Judd, and I'm sure you guys have all seen this already, so I don't think I'm going to play it in its entirety, but I do want to talk about it because when Grady Judd is hurting, we're hurting. Like, he's our dude, you know? He is our dude. Miss Robin is from... I love it, Leonard. Palm Bay, Rexy. Leesburg. I had a great aunt that lived in Leesburg in one of those communities. Pac-Man, I love that. Hampton, Virginia. Ann Arbor. A2 in the house. A2, home of the Hash Bash. Southwest Pennsylvania and Australia, Daniela. I don't have my crikey, but oh, crikey. The UK, oh, we know potato. Oh, you say the UK. Parish, New York. I hear that New York just was granted a state of emergency by the governor there because of the influx of immigrants. Is that not crazy? That is some crazy stuff. Southeast Iowa in the house. Kansas. Don't get blown away with Dorothy. Pickles Sandwich, Lake Worth, Florida. Welcome. Grand Rapids. Hello, Grand Rapids. Hello, South Central PA. Why what? Robin's like, why? What? Wait, this is Robin. Oh, the state of emergency. Yes. That was just coming out before I went live. Shall we show that for a second here and see what's going on? Well, let's find out, Robin. New York, state of emergency. Unless what I saw was fake news, but Glasgow, Scotland, Shamrock. Hello, Shamrock. Good to see you. I wish I had all my sound bits, but I'm slowly getting them back and adding new ones. The sound bites are very quiet. Okay, I'll have to work on that after. Tucson, Arizona. I heard that. Okay, so here is the news. Eric Adams declares state of emergency to respond to migrant crisis. The number of people in the New York City main shelter system has exceeded $61,000 people. So the number of people in the shelter system has exceeded 61,000, nearing a record for the city. Mayor Adams said the city had been overwhelmed by the nearly 17,000 migrants that have arrived since April. So they're saying that the city is struggling to respond to an influx of tens of thousands of migrants from Latin America. Mr. Adams said, we need help and we need it now. And he said that he expects as many as 100,000 more people to arrive eventually. At least 9 more buses arrived yesterday. So declaring a state of emergency would allow officials in the city to move more quickly to provide services. Debbie, I can't even imagine. Google user says, I saw Russians going to Alaska. Weird, especially with the border stuff rules. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that comes out about Russia that we're not aware of. I really do. I don't know what that could be. I mean, I have ideas of what I think it could be, but I think we're going to hear more about Russia. But isn't it weird that migrants are going to New York City? Send them to D.C., says Rexy. Okay, let's get to Grady Judd and the sad news out of his department. You know, seeing Grady Judd torn up like this, it was tough to watch. It was tough to watch. And then to find out after that this kid wanted to be the next sheriff. So really hard news for him, I'm sure. I got you.
They stand in the gap between good and evil. They arrest people. They save people's lives. They keep the evil people away from the good people. They enforce the court orders. I want to introduce you to Deputy Sheriff Blaine Lane. Deputy Lane is 21 years old. He went to the police academy in September of 2020. I swore him in as a detention deputy in May of 2021. And just 8.5 months ago, in January of 2022, he was transferred to patrol as a deputy. He was a great deputy. He was eager. He was brilliant. He learned, he absorbed information like a sponge, and he was careful when he did his job. Now I want to introduce you to the antithesis of that. This is Cheryl Williams. She's 46 years of age. She's a cranker.
A cranker?
She had a failure to appear warrant, a felony warrant, for possession of methamphetamine and possession of paraphernalia. She's been to the Florida State Prison on an 11-year sentence. She served more than 9 years for trafficking in methamphetamine. She was locked away a long time. She's had 11 previous felony arrests, 4 previous misdemeanor arrests. And once again, she failed to appear. Well, the Sheriff's Office received a Crime Stoppers tip this morning. We received this tip at about 2:07, and they said, hey, we can tell you where Cheryl is. She's at 4335 Foxtown South in Polk City. For those
Give us
of
the
you who
address.
are not familiar, Polk City is in the northern part of our county, and it is a rural area, and it's known to be peaceful and quiet. So our deputies responded there to arrest her, to take her into custody. She had the opportunity to, one, appear like she was supposed to. So obviously she had bonded out of jail. She could have turned herself in at any given time. And she didn't do that. She ran from the law. So about 2:24, Deputy Sheriff Holzenbeck, Deputy Sheriff Lane, Deputy Sheriff Pinellas, and Sergeant Brooks went to the area to arrest her. So let me give you a synopsis of the events. And once again, as I've explained to you every time that I've done a briefing in a short period of time after a traumatic event, this is the best information we have at this point in our investigation. Every bit of this information is subject to change as the investigation goes on, but we want you to know, we want the community to know the best information we have right now. So as the 4 deputies approach the front door, there is 2 men in this mobile home. We'll call the first one Witness A. And we ask where Cheryl Williams may be located, and he said she's around back. So the deputies go around back where they meet another man at the back door. And we say we have information that Cheryl Williams is there, and he said, yes, she's here. Come on in.
Come on down.
At that point in time, Deputy Lane goes back to the front of the mobile home and takes up a tactical position so that he can watch windows and the front door in the event our suspect, who's already on the lam, decides to run. The position that he's taken, and this is important in a minute, is not in front of any doors or windows, but he's angled so that he can see the front door, he can see a set of windows, and he's where people inside can't see him. So if the suspects wanted to attack or shoot out of the house, they can't see him. He also has the advantage that there's some old refrigerators positioned so that if he were to take gunfire, he could go for cover. So he is standing by while Deputy Sheriff Holzenbach, Deputy Sheriff Pinnell, and Sergeant Brooks enter. As they enter, you've got to understand this is kind of a maze. So they come upon a room, and when they look into the room as they're clearing the house or the mobile home, they don't see anyone. So as Holzenbach is moving further so he can look more completely into this room, Cheryl Williams, this person,
Cheryl, the
comes,
cranker,
steps into view holding this firearm and pointing it directly at the deputies.
What? What an idiot.
Two deputies, at this point in the investigation, we believe only two deputies fired. Sergeant Brooks and Deputy Holzenbach. She struck at least 2 times and she goes down, and at that same time, Deputy Lane says, "I'm hit." Witness 1, who is up on the front porch, sees Deputy Lane grabbing his shoulder like he's pulling at his shirt, and he walks from his
Poor
tactical position out under another covered area and goes down to one knee. Deputy Sheriff Pinnell runs to him to provide assistance to him. We believe at this point in the investigation that 6 shots were fired. We immediately transport Deputy Lane to Lakeland Regional Health. The initial information that we all receive in the spur of the moment when we received our pages, and the information is he's shot in the arm, his vitals are good, everything's fine. We also transport Williams to the hospital because she's shot twice. When we get to the hospital, and as they're treating Deputy Lane, we learn that the shot that went into the shoulder went into the chest cavity, and he died. Williams is currently under arrest at Lakeland Regional Health and under security. She's going to be charged with, among other charges, second-degree felony murder.
Why second
So
degree?
she's gone from a felony, a third-degree felony warrant for possession of meth, to a second-degree felony murder charge, where it's our goal to see that she's incarcerated for the rest of her natural life. So the investigation's underway. Did I tell you this gun was a BB gun?
What?
Did you hear what I said? It was a BB gun. After the fact, witness 2 tells us that when they heard the deputies arriving, she picked this gun up and carried it into what we'll call the gaming room. Witness 2 said, you shouldn't do that, or you should not do that. And she said, let them in.
Oh, she asked for it, though.
It is my belief at this early stage of the investigation, she clearly and unequivocally wanted to put us into a gunfight with her and or a suicide by cop. She carried that gun into the room and then immediately pointed it at the deputies as soon as she saw them. As I said before, this is a dangerous job. But it is obvious at this stage of the investigations that one of the deputies, either Sergeant Brooks or Deputy Holzenbach, fired the fatal shot.
I'm kind of confused.
Now, I want to clear up for those questions that when they approached to go into the mobile home looking for our suspect,
His own shot him, I think.
of course, the deputies have no idea where she is in this mobile home. Deputy Lane has taken a very sound, secure cover position, and he doesn't know where they are on the inside.
Yes, Robin, it was.
What's the statistical probabilities that the conflict would be directly beside where he was standing? All of this breaks our heart. But in our early analysis, we find that Deputy Lane did exactly what he should have, was soundly positioned, allowed himself to have not only concealment, but cover in the event there was a shootout at the door, was clearly protected, so if there was someone who jumped through or tried to shoot at him out of the door, they couldn't see him. Had he literally been standing 3 inches in or 3 inches back, the round would have missed him.
Wow.
But he wasn't. The investigation's underway. There'll
It
be a
is
complete,
so sad. It's like
full
one of those
investigation.
wrong place, wrong
This is the
time.
very first investigation by our 10th Judicial Circuit officer-involved shooting team, which is made up of not only the sheriff's office here, but Highlands County had representatives on this team. The Lakeland Police Department had representatives on the team. In fact, a Lakeland police detective is the lead investigator, and we have supervisors and administrators, and we're also joined by a supervisor from the Highlands County Sheriff's Office. We will release the findings of that investigation when it's complete. I can tell you that the funeral is scheduled for next week.
Yeah,
We
they just
ask the
announced that
community
October
keep First Deputy Lane's
11th.
immediate family and then his work family in your prayers. He went out simply to serve a warrant, something we do hundreds of times a day. And this time, there were horrible ending to this. And it didn't have to happen. I want to underscore, this lady who's already spent 9 years in prison for trafficking in meth brought this, and this is the barrel they were looking down at 3 o'clock in the morning.
It's her fault.
And this is the gun that she brought to point at my deputies. She created this entire event. She forced this shooting. She knew if she pointed this gun at my deputies in the middle of the night, that we wouldn't return fire to keep her from killing one of our deputies.
Well, she was charged with
That's why
second
she's
degree.
being charged. The investigation's still underway. You can certainly bank on the fact there will be other charges in addition to that.
I'm going to leave that there until we get more information. But yeah, it's this lady's fault. She deliberately pulled what she knew was a BB gun on deputies. So it was friendly fire. It sounds to me like it went through the mobile home, through the wall, and hit him. And like he said, had he been 3 inches this way or 3 inches that way, it wouldn't have hit him. So unfortunately, it did. But she's the one that started the whole thing. Ambush her house. She's a meth head. She was breaking the law. They had a warrant for her arrest. So if you have a warrant for your arrest, State of the United, I guess you can kind of assume that you're going to get ambushed, right? You break the law and you live in Polk County, especially. Yikes. So definitely her fault. I disagree with you, States of the United. I respect your position, but I don't agree with it. Hello, Mike Sanner. I'm going to wait until they get more information out of their investigation where they have all of the body cam and all that shit. Because definitely, I know Grady will be transparent. He always is. I've seen him put his own deputies in jail. So, oh, States of the United. I would love to have this discussion with you right now, but I have other stories to cover. So no, I definitely don't think she should be shot and killed. I think they went there to serve a warrant and she pulled a gun. So yeah, I think if you put a gun on an officer, you kind of should expect maybe them to fire at you. I mean, it's kind of common sense. If by 2022, we don't understand the simple concept that you don't pull a gun on a cop when they're there to serve a warrant, I don't know what else to tell these people. Now moving into Pinellas County, we had a horrific crash, if you haven't seen this. We had 3 teenagers out walking around in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m, and they stole a car, a Maserati to be exact, that was left with the keys in it. And we're gonna watch that. They have all the videos. So what was crazy? What was crazy is this: the deputy helicopter was out responding to another car burglary. Okay, so he caught them on camera and saw them the whole act. Yeah, Miss Robin, it's someone trolling the States of the United. Yeah, I guess at 3 a.m, if you're there to serve a warrant and, you know, some crackhead pulls a gun on you, you're not supposed to defend yourself. But hey, what do I know? All right, let's listen to the Pinellas County Sheriff talk to us about this crash involving those 3 teenagers.
On 58th Avenue North in unincorporated St. Petersburg. And I mentioned that just to, again, put it in context, set the stage for this, because that incident is unrelated to what we're talking about here, other than that's why deputies were in the area. So the helicopter was up, K-9 was out, deputies were in the area. They took a person into custody. While the helicopter was up overhead,
this is crazy.
the helicopter saw 3 males down below that were acting suspicious. And got on the radio and told other deputies who were in the area that they needed to come check these guys out because, it was 3:30 in the morning. They're walking on 62nd Avenue. They're walking near cars, and they were acting suspicious. So the people who the deputies saw, the first is Keondrick, Keondrick, last name Lang. He's 15 years old. The second is Mario Bonilla, Bonilla, again, 15 years old. He's deceased. And Malachi,
I'm gonna grab some coffee.
Malachi, last name is Daniels, and he's 16. And they were walking along 62nd Avenue North. Lang, who is going to be the driver when they broke into the car, and in the video, and I'm filling in some of the blanks that I didn't have during the press conference the other day. And when you watch the video, is that he's the one wearing shorts. So Lang is the one in shorts. So they're walking eastbound. They come across a 2016 Maserati that's parked in the 2600 block of 62nd Avenue North. It's parked in a parking spot of a driveway that's very close to the street. And what you'll be able to see from the video and from what the helicopter pilots call out is that Lang goes over and uses what I thought was, and it still might be, his shirt that he uses so that his fingerprints and DNA don't get onto the door handle. And I'll show you.
They snuck
here,
out.
We've got it in this picture here to my left. Is that when he was taken out of the car by fire rescue, he's got a glove on his hand. So and he also had a mask. So they had the glove on because they're out there breaking into cars and doing things they shouldn't be doing. The other two, one gets in on the passenger side. It does look like he does use his shirt. So
how does a 15-year-old think of that?
With their shirts or
hide my fingerprints.
Lang had a glove on. So Lang goes over, gets in the car. The other two come over, and
brown skin for life. I agree.
Front passenger seat, and Malachi Daniels gets in the back. They sit in the car for 82 seconds, and while that's happening, they're sitting in the car. The helicopter's up overhead, and the deputies are en route to conduct further investigation. As they're sitting there after 82 seconds, as you'll see in the video, is they back up and they pull out. And when they pull out, they go up over the grass, down the curb and onto 62nd Avenue and go eastbound on 62nd Avenue. At that point, two deputies, Deputy James, and I'll spell his last name, Sevostjanov, 7S Joff, and Deputy Kellen Zanandri, Zandrie, come up behind him. And when they get up behind him, Deputy Zanandri goes up on the side. The other deputy is behind him. They activate their overheads. And at that point they're going normal flow of traffic. They're going normal speeds. Once the deputies activate their emergency equipment, they go on for a short period of time, and then the driver of the car, as I said, who is Lang, he punches it. And as he's punching it and he takes off, the deputies immediately turn off their overheads. The sergeant got on the radio and told them to disengage, which they did immediately. And you'll see in there in the speeds, because they had their dash cameras on, and you'll see the speeds. One of the deputies gets down to about 35 miles an hour. The other deputy is about 50 miles an hour. And they totally disengage, back off, turn off their emergency equipment. At 5 seconds before the crash with Lang driving, is that Maserati was going 123 miles an hour. So the deputies are slowed down. Again, one got to about 35, the other got to about 50. They're a ways off. They're probably in the area of about 16th Street and 62nd Avenue North, and the car crashes at 10th Street and 62nd Avenue North. So what happens is Lang's driving, again, going very fast, no driver's license, 15-year-old driver, very inexperienced. The car starts fishtailing, and he loses it. And there is no control over the car. And as you'll see, the car goes airborne and basically
it's
flips,
bad.
almost
So
like a can opener.
viewer discretion advised.
It goes into a sign and it lands. I'll show you in the video. It was from the time the deputies disengaged until the time of the crash was 19 seconds. So they're back, but as soon as he punched it, he lost it pretty quick and went airborne and went into the sign. As I told you, when we pulled Lang from the car, he had a glove on his hand. One of the things that we are releasing today for the first time, also in the car, was a .25 caliber semi-automatic handgun. And this handgun did not belong to the owner of the car, and it was not in the car when he parked the car on the night of October 1st into the morning of October 2nd. So that was a gun that these three possessed. We also found, you see there, a picture of the mask that was in Lang's possession. So he had a glove on his hand, he had the mask. That firearm was found on the front seat of the car. We did a trace through ATF of the firearm, and the only record, the last record of that firearm, was it was shipped to Largo Feed and Grain on East Bay Drive in Largo in 1968.
1968?
And so my guess, and this is a guess, I want to be clear with this is what we see. It's probably been stolen several times, sold on the street several times, and it's what we call a crime gun. So we're going to get back with ATF and try and do some additional ballistics on that gun to see if it's been used in other crimes. But especially a gun that old that's been around for as long as it has, and under these circumstances, it just continually gets sold again and again on the street. That's my best educated hypothesis as to what the deal is with that gun. But it belonged to these kids. It did not belong to the owner. As I mentioned the other night, the same three, Lang, Bonilla, and Daniels, is that back on September 11th at about 4 o'clock in the morning, there was a Kansas City police officer who stopped them down in Kansas City at 47th Street and 61st Avenue North in a residential area, wearing all black. They had their faces covered with hoods or hoodies, and they were acting suspicious. So the only criminal history that any of these kids had was one of the kids was arrested back in June on a disorderly conduct obstructing charge. None of them had any criminal histories, but what appears clear is that these kids were out doing a whole bunch of bad things. They just hadn't been caught. And the parents were trying. They realized that these kids were going down the bad path. One of them had recently moved from St. Pete High over to Northeast High. The parents went to bed. The kids were in their rooms where they should have been. They snuck out in the middle of the night, and it's a very tragic situation. So I think what I'm going to do now is play the video for you. And the first video is just the helicopter video. You'll hear the radio traffic. You'll hear the pilots calling it out. You'll hear the ground units. And then the second part of it is we incorporate the deputy's dash cam video, and that's the primary part of the screen. And then you'll see a window down in the lower right-hand corner that has the helicopter video. So you'll see everything as it's occurring with the dash camera and with the helicopter video. So we'll go ahead and play that, and then I'll update you a little bit on the condition of the two kids who are not deceased, and then take any questions that you have. So go ahead.
All right, we're going to watch this video. I just want to say viewer discretion advised. It is a little bit disturbing, but I want to know who answered yes to the poll. The poll question was, or is rather, when you snuck out as a kid, would you have taken a Maserati for a spin? Well, you actually have to turn on the Q&A, so I don't know if creators are actually going to bonus from that or not. Because if they don't turn it on, it's not going to do anything. But it's a neat feature. I just wish they'd make it where you could pin it. You know? Okay, let's watch this video again. Viewer discretion advised. This is the Maserati. You're going to see the deputy helicopter actually see them from the moment they're walking down the street. I'm going to make it full screen. Wait, hold on. Hold the phone. I forgot. We are going to go over here and play this video. I still have to perfect this, but you guys, I'm working on it. Okay. So here's my video player screen.
One of the shorts is the driver.
We got some detained talking with our subject. traffic 19 if you want to. Who's gonna have black, bottles or like sweat cut bottles for a shirt? I got it, we got one of Eagle, the two that I was watching that I would have third, I'm pretty sure they're just breaking into an unlocked car here, 62nd, just west of Orange Street. And I'm moving up to a point, 7th Street on that now. Orange, 25th Street, just west of 25th Street, it's on the south side of the road, 62nd, and they all three got in the car, they covered their hands with their sweatshirts, so I'm pretty sure they just broke into it. Search lights are in. Okay, now are you deployed on this Richmond 21, or do you want to head over here? I'll come over that new spot. It sounds like I got a guy for this one. Alright, 62nd Ave, south side of the road, just before 25th Street. I think it's 2604, 62nd Ave. Okay, sure, you have a new on road. Alright, the car's moving now. Where you keep it?
So we'll make copies of all of that video available to you. Again, summing it up, they got in the car, they fled, blacked out, going normal speed. Cruisers get behind them. They punched it. Deputies back off. Deputies got down to, again, 30 miles an hour on one, probably 45, 50 on the other. They weren't in sight. You can see how far back the deputies were. Unfortunately, he was going, and we know this from the data recorder in the Maserati, that 5 seconds before the crash, he was doing 123 miles an hour, lost it, went airborne, hit the sign, and, a tragic outcome. So as far as the situation, we know that Bonilla is deceased. We know that Kendrick Lang, who is the driver, is in very critical condition, still in the hospital. I told you the other morning that really didn't think, based on the information from the hospital, that he was going to make it. There's a chance now that he may make it. They're doing multiple surgeries on him, so he may make it. And Malachi Daniels is still in the hospital, but his injuries are not life-threatening. We're still considering the criminal charges. I want to see what happens with Lang, see if he lives, and we'll look at criminal charges. Everything's on the table. Of course, grand theft of the vehicle. Lang faces what's called third-degree felony murder charges because somebody else died while he was in the commission of a felony. So he could be charged with third-degree felony murder. And as far as Daniels is concerned, there's options there for criminal charges. Right now, we've been focused on the crash investigation. Obviously, one of the kids, sadly, is deceased. The other two are in the hospital, so there's no urgency as far as making that decision about the charges. But we're talking about it and considering it. Anybody have any questions?
You heard on the video there the chopper pilot say, back off. Can you explain why you guys have...
They don't chase here if it's a stolen car, guys.
Yeah, so just to be clear, I mean, just so we're clear, it was actually the sergeant who told him to back off, so it wasn't the pilot, but same difference, your point is the same, is that we probably have one of the most, and I don't know about the most, but certainly one of the most restrictive pursuit policies in the state of Florida. We went many, many years ago to having many pursuits a year down to a few and a handful. Pursuits are dangerous. We're going to reserve them for those most needed situations where they're justified under the circumstances. And we don't pursue for stolen cars. We don't pursue for property crime. We pursue when somebody is engaged in the type of felony, a violent felony, a robbery, a homicide, a rape, those things where somebody needs to be taken into custody, or when they're driving, regardless of what we did, when they are engaging in very serious, dangerous driving that affects public safety. Other than that, we don't pursue because it's not worth it. Somebody's life is not worth property. And that's my view on it, and especially when it's property that people don't care about. Is remember, in this case, the reason why these kids were able to steal that car is because the owner of the car parked it, he left the car unlocked, and he left the keys in his car. So why would we put our people at risk and put the public at risk to try and get back something that somebody else doesn't even care about? So that's my view of it. And people, you can leave your cars unlocked and you leave your keys in the car if you want. And certainly, you can make the case is the problem is these kids stealing other people's stuff, and it's not the person who leaves their car unlocked and leaves the keys in the car. That's, that's the way it is. But we're not going to pursue for that kind of stuff because it's just simply too dangerous. Now, it doesn't mean we're not going to do our job, and we are. And we're going to try and do what they did here, which is try and stop the car, try to get the people into custody. But these kids fled, and the deputies weren't chasing them. And we have a very restrictive chase policy regarding property crime and any traffic offenses. Again, unless it is a very serious violent felony, or the person is acting in such a dangerous way that they have to be stopped or they'll hurt somebody else, those are the only times we chase. And we have a few pursuits a year.
Sheriff, how many miles did these teams actually travel when they got the car until they crashed? How many minutes were they actually in that vehicle?
Well, you
How
saw
many
it.
minutes?
I mean, let it speak for itself.
Seconds.
It's from 28th Street and 62nd Avenue North to 10th Street and 62nd Avenue North. So distance-wise, I didn't calculate that out, but mile and a half, maybe, something like that. Time-wise, it speaks for itself on the video.
Can you talk a little bit more about the gun and just the fact that 1960 to 70 years, what does it mean to be able to get a weapon like that off the streets, and how many people do you think could have had
Well, there's tons of them out there like that. I mean, these are crime guns, and this is what happens all the time. I mean, they're out there all over the place, and we run into these where people are selling guns on the street. A gun on the street like that, somebody's probably sold it 100 times for $50, $100. They just keep passing it around.
Isn't that crazy?
Now, it's possible that they could have stolen it out of somebody else's car, but just from the looks of it, the type of gun that it is,
CEO,
and because the only history of it was from 1968, this has probably just been passed around in crime circles for a very long time and being sold very cheaply. I mean, it's a 25 caliber. It's not a 9mm. It's not a 45. It's not a 380. It's a 25, which is a very small caliber gun. But it'll kill you. Make no mistake about that. And they use it in a robbery or whatever else they're using it for. But it's a bad situation when you got two 15-year-olds and a 16-year-old that are out with masks, with gloves, with a gun that are up to no good in the middle of the night. All those are ingredients for bad stuff.
Is it hard to say who may have owned that, or what one of the kids had that, or is that?
You saw the crash. You saw how that car got tossed around and really got almost bent in the middle by the pole, like a tin can got crushed in the middle of it. So it's virtually impossible. Now we're processing it for DNA and for fingerprints. So we'll see, if we get anything back off of that. But right now, we did find it in the front seat. But just because we found it in the front seat, the way that car went around, I can't tell you.
Would you say that this speaks to a larger issue maybe in the county in terms of cars being stolen? But more importantly, you guys over and over again telling people lock your doors, open their keys, and that type of thing.
All the time. I mean, you want the history on this, and you want a very well-written, laid-out history of it. Go read the Tampa Bay Times article from a few years ago. I mean, it tells you exactly what the problem is, and it tells you what we face and what we've seen with kids in this county, for a very long time. It isn't just this county. I mean, we seem to have a lot of it here for whatever reason, but it also occurs throughout the state where you got these young kids in the 13, 14, 15, 16 age range that go out in the middle of the night and are looking for the opportunity, because these are crimes of opportunity where you have unlocked doors and you have keys in cars, you have guns in cars, whatever property, and they're just looking to take the cars, break into the cars. Very rarely do we find forced entry. Is that if the cars are locked, they're not going into them, but so many cars are unlocked and people leave so much stuff in these cars, from guns to jewelry to money to you name it, and they're just out there in the middle of the night taking it. And this is the big problem, is when they actually steal the car. So, we saw years ago now, we saw the infamous 3 girls in a pond case. We had the one up at Tampa Road in 19 a couple years ago, where they're going fast through Tampa in 19 and run into the pole. Now we've got this one, and it's a problem. It really is. Auto thefts are down from what they were, but it doesn't mean that the problem has gone away, as we see here. Of course, it's still a problem and an issue, and it's these young people that are doing it in the middle of the night, and this is the result
Now, okay. Everyone is saying what I said in the very beginning. Who leaves the keys in a Maserati with a gun in it, right? Well, when you watch this Netflix Bling, I can't remember the name of it. Oh, tell Jesse I said happy birthday. Maybe Sunday night or Sunday live. Remind me too if I forget. Netflix. I'm going to tell you the name of it. Bling Empire. Bling Empire. Right? No, that's not it. No. Scratch that. The Bling Ring? Yes, the Bling Ring. This is what it looks like. Right here. It's called the Bling Ring. Now these guys in 2009 started breaking into cars in Hollywood. They would go to parties in the valley and they would literally just check cars. And they started stealing out of cars. And then they went on to rob Paris Hilton's home. They had a key. They found it under the mat. They keyed in numerous times and literally went shopping in her house. Crazy documentary. It's got like 3 episodes. I think it's roughly like 2.5 hours. It's worth the watch for sure. It's really interesting. I knew Paris got robbed, but I never knew the story. So moving on, we're going to go to Lee County for just a minute. Insurance fraud. Yeah. I don't know, man. Weird. Like the cop said, they didn't give a shit about the car. Why should the cops? We're going to go down to Lee County. And this is where it was the hardest hit. Hurricane Ian was the hardest hit. And this is our friend from Lee County who showed up at the Gabby Petito press conference back in the day with his alligators, moccasins, and all that.
That's how it played out.
So we're going to listen to him. He gets a comment from someone talking about his response to the storm. And little guy, Marcino, he calls the jail the Marcino Motel. Little Marcino gets a little upset and defensive. Let's listen.
That, sir. I'm going to cut you off before you go any further. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you come from. Everyone wants to focus on a plan that might have been done differently. Well, I'm going to tell you, I stand 100% with my county commissioners, my county manager. We did what we had to do at the exact same time. I wouldn't have changed anything. And I know, being in those meetings from the very minute, this storm was very unpredictable. And I say right here, my fellow brother Chad Chronister here from Hillsborough.
He's like, don't bring me into it, dude.
5 hours when he got word that the storm was going to hit Tampa. And I said, Sheriff, I'm sorry. I see the projected path. I'm going to send you everything that we have to help you. Well, that unpredictability, he called me back and said, Sheriff, look at what we're talking about. That storm's now coming your way. We weren't even in a projected path or cone, okay? So I'm confident that we gave everything to this storm that we should have at the right time. And I think more so, the governor had it right. He said, after the cameras are here and they're long gone, you know, there's a thirst to be first, right? Everybody wants that information. Well, for us, it's about a commitment. It's not just the cameras. It's about moving forward in a positive way. And now let's focus on what's the right thing to do and how we can help the people that are in need. Next question.
Sir, if I may follow up, please.
Yes, sir.
Respectfully, my name is Boris Sanchez. I'm with CNN. I'm purely presenting the questions that are being asked.
Of course.
On the ground who are reading these reports and reading this plan and wondering if something could have been done differently. We respect what you're doing now. We appreciate it.
Okay, one more video of Marcino before we end here. He has a TikTok. He loves social media. Loves it. Loves it. So here's the Lee Sheriff.
So what we have here is this frosty little female who didn't get her potatoes from Wendy's. So this hot potato decides to steal someone's phone, jump over the counter, physically bite the employee, and destroy Wendy's. So this little hot potato acts like this because she don't get her fries. She needs the chili at the Marcino Motel. So what we have here.
Okay, so this is 3 months ago after the McNo with Grady. All right, and here's another TikTok for your viewing pleasure. Where did he say potato? Oh, this one. There's no potatoes at the Marcino Motel. Hold on. I wasn't even thinking. Let's replay that.
So what we have here is this frosty little female who didn't get her potatoes from Wendy's. So this hot potato decides to steal someone's phone, jump over the counter, physically bite the employee, and destroy Wendy's. So this little hot potato acts like this because she don't get
hot potato. New soundbite. New soundbite. Okay, here's another TikTok for you.
County, can you advise that please?
10-4.
32,
It's single forward on the bridge. It's
The
crashed on the bridge
song.
right now.
248.
Lake County, it just crashed on the bridge. It's on the top of the bridge right now. He's running right now. Looks like he might. He's like trying to hop off the bridge right now. He's standing on the foot of the bridge. And he just jumped off the bridge.
On FMPD, they're about to be 10-12.
I can't with him and his music. Oh my gosh. Okay, here's another one.
Yesterday, we responded to the Walmart store on San Carlos Boulevard regarding a male subject using his cell phone to film young girls in a fitting room.
The music.
We will do everything possible to make certain our children are safe and protect those that cannot protect themselves. This piece of shit is where he belongs, behind bars in the Marcino Motel.
What the fuck? Is this real?
Yesterday, we were...
What? Wait, what? Marcino is getting a little saucy on the social media. What? Oh, shit. Look at this one. Look at this one. It says Sheriff Carmine Marcino presents Sheriff Marcino on Fox News! Exclamation point. Oh, that's when he arrested the kid for threatening to shoot the school. Let's see if we have any more shorts from him. Okay, here's part 2 about, yeah, here we go. Oh, shit. Dude. Oh my God. I can't. I'm probably going to get copyright struck for these songs, but I can't stop watching. Oh my word. This guy is something else. I did not expect this to be funnies, but it is. Okay. So those are our Florida sheriff updates. I am going to be coming back live later because I have more updates that aren't Florida, but I have lots of stuff to talk to you guys about. And then also I'm going to be doing a live stream on my other channel. And if you guys aren't subscribed, if the mods could put the 411 channel in the chat, and please subscribe because I'm going to put an event up there. We're going to be doing some things a little different over there. I think you'll like it. So make sure you're subscribed to What's the 411 with Jay. And it might even name change. I'm not sure yet. It's still a work in progress. But as promised, I know that was funny, but that wasn't my planned funny, right? Have you guys seen Kanye West's interview? That's what I'm going to be talking about over on the 411. We're going to be going through Kanye West's entire interview with Tucker Carlson. It's mind blowing.
Roberta, that he does not know.
All right. So we're going to kick it off, or we're going to end it here. Not kick it off. We're going to end it with our funny potato. This is the one that I've been looking for since July. This is the one, the funny that I wanted to show for you because you'll get why. Okay. So we're going to close with this. I'm going to put it on the old school video player, and then you guys can dance it out, and I will put an event up for the 411, and I will also put an event up for later for more true crime updates. So thank you guys. Thanks all the moderators. Thank you members. Thank you chatters. Thank you listeners. You are greatly appreciated. So listen to this. Tell me. I'm going to be watching chat to see your reaction. This is great. So enjoy your funny. I will talk to you guys soon.
In Lutz that is not afraid to show a little bit of leg, but don't worry, it is very family friendly. It's called Men in Kilts, and as ABC Action News reporter Robert Boyd shows us, they take great pride in their Scottish heritage.
When Men in Kilts arrives at your door, you're getting exactly what you asked for.
I get to walk around being Scottish all day long, and it earns us money.
Owner William McKissick is the real deal. Born and raised in the small town of Ayr in the southwest of Scotland, before moving his family to America in 2011.
It's beautiful. I'm from there, but I didn't want to live and die in the same place. So we took the opportunity to move to a different country and start a new life.
But William is proving you can take the man out of Scotland, but you'll never take Scotland out of the man. This year, he became the first Tampa Bay franchise owner of the exterior house cleaning service, Men in Kilts.
Everybody, my cousins in Scotland, my family, everybody thinks it's wonderful I'm doing this business. We're wearing the kilts and I'm advertising Scotland. I'm a walking advert for Scotland.
Were you happy with the service today?
William is happy to share his family heritage and country's history with his clients.
It's amazing.
But there is usually one question that stands out among all the rest.
What do you wear under your kilt?
And what's the answer?
I say shoes and socks. Like Marilyn Monroe, you have to keep an eye on things.
You got to push it down when you climb up that ladder.
You have to keep an eye on things, yes.
And no matter where you are from, every employee wears a kilt, but learning the bagpipes is optional. William, I have some Scottish heritage myself, but I've never tried a kilt. What do you think? How would I look?
I think you would look fantastic. You should give it a try.
Well, I think we have to do it now.
Why is it an issue?
Actually, nobody.
What do you think?
Actually, nobody
Is there a
said
future for
dice.
reporters in kilts?
Fantastic. Reporters need to feel the air as well.
It is nice and breezy. In Lutz, Robert Boyd, ABC Action News.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't